How you doing, YouTube? It's Will from Will Development. It's my 437th weekly update. Um, I want to know that I had all intentions of finishing up the new intro and all that good stuff, and going back to my previous, method of uploading and everything. But you might be able to hear it, but outside it is storming. Florida is just a mess right now with storms. We've had power outages on and off for the last week, and I just don't want to risk um, sort of doing that right now. Um, just with power surges and everything, it can be dangerous. You hear that? Yeah. So figured I'd just shoot it on the phone where nothing can go wrong except maybe another power outage and then the light goes out. But it doesn't matter because I'll make it quick. This week went pretty okay. Lots of up and downs sort of deal, and finalizing my programming this week. Just tested out a few new ideas on training, and got some ideas, some good ideas, and some just sort of new, maybe not new, but just kind of reminding me of ways to train. Especially from my friend Nate, shot me over a program that he likes to run. He always sends me good stuff, and usually I just sort of pick a little nugget here and there to try out, and just go from there. And I found quite a few good nuggets in the last few things he sent me, so I'll be using those. But Monday went really well. I was covering at the gym for the trainer, and had all intentions of getting to the gym a lot sooner than I did, but it didn't work out that way. I had a bunch of work to finish up. Surprisingly busy season right now, but that's okay. So when I got there, I was like, all right, you got 15 minutes, go throw the bag. And felt really good. I'm getting a lot better at bag throwing, getting a lot more consistent with a, more respectable heights. We'll just put it that way. I don't really want to quote them because they're still not quite that respectable in the world of strongman, but they are getting a lot better and a lot more consistent. I'm a whole foot higher with the same weight and much more consistent with that same height. So that feels good. At least Monday I was. And then, but because it was going so well, I was like, well, I'm just going to keep throwing until I can't, basically. And that put me behind schedule. And then I basically had like 30 minutes before people started showing up that I had to, cover for and train. So I just ended up doing one set of squats, and a lot of people were complaining because they were doing a deload. That's what they were programmed to do that day. And I told them, well, hey, you can do what I did if you want. Instead of doing 4 sets of 10, because that does sound pretty awful. What if you just did one set of squats? And I said, yeah, it's actually really simple. You just take like 50, 55%, and you do 1 rep, and then 2, and then 3, and then 4, all the way up to 10. And then you do 10 again, and then 9, and then 8, and all the way back down to 1. And then there you go. It's just 1 set of squats, and you're done. Real simple, It's 110 reps, but it's only 1 set, so it's not so bad. Because that is what I did. I just ended up just doing that on front squats, and oh my God, it was pretty awful. And then because the level of self-loathing within myself cannot be described by any language on earth. We'd need a Rosetta Stone to come up with words to describe that. I decided to do a superset of Bulgarian split squats into leg extensions because, why not, right? If we're going to die, let's die. And so that was actually a super great workout. It only took me like 30 minutes to get done. But I tell you what, a lot of good work was done. Honestly, it was mostly conditioning, but it felt good when it was over. A lot of endorphins after that training session. Tuesday, boy howdy, I don't really even know what the hell happened on Tuesday. I can barely even remember it. But I remember essentially doing like 2 things and nothing went well. And I was like, okay, that's how it's going to be today. And I was like, you know what? Let's just, some days you just know it when you walk in and you kind of try to push through something. Like I said, I can't even remember Tuesday, so I know it wasn't that good. Wednesday I was off, and then Thursday, being yesterday, started with bag toss, and that consistency that I had on Monday was just gone. Took me like 15 tries to finally get the same bag over the same height once. And I realized after I was on my, like, I don't know, sixth row, I was like, oh yeah, I was supposed to go down a foot and do some rep work today. Oops. Well, now I need to get this bag over there, or else I'm just never going to be able to sleep tonight. I did end up getting it like twice, barely over twice, but it was like, all right, I'll take it. And then didn't do any actual deadlifts, just did RDLs into leg curls. What the hell else did I do? And then pendlay rows. And I kind of forgot that the weight that I would use on RDLs was kind of a lot more than I would normally do on pendlays. I was doing like, I don't know, I think it was 225 was on the bar. Somebody else had just left it there, and I was like, this seems like a good weight. And then I'm doing the pendlays, and I was like, these feel really heavy for some reason. And then I'm like, oh, because you're like power rowing 225. That's why it's heavy. Like, no shit. That's why it's heavy. That might not sound like a lot to some people, but it's, when you only weigh 180 pounds and it's like a little under half your deadlift, it's pretty significant, especially after the other stuff. But that ended up being another good day too. And then today, the axle, man, I tell you what, I went in there and the warm-ups felt, the cleans felt pretty good right up until they didn't. And then I was like, I had a goal to just hit like 5 reps at a certain weight, just 5 singles, and then I was going to drop down and then basically do like 1 clean and then a few press away reps, that sort of deal. And it ended up taking me a long time to warm up today, to the point where like my top set that I was supposed to be working with, I mean, it took 3 attempts just to make the clean feel good. And then it took 2 more attempts after that to actually get my press. Then I did actually get 4 out of the 5 reps I wanted. I mean, I got to the 4th rep and I was like, I'm just going to call it today, quit while I'm ahead. And then I just did one of my favorite supersets, which is diamond push-ups into regular push-ups, max reps on both, and did that for a few rounds. I love those because you really, really see the diminishing returns. And it's also one of those things where I'm a fan of being able to kind of handle my own body weight. I like that idea of always being able to handle whatever I weigh. So I always want to be able to do like 10 pull-ups in a row, 10 chin-ups in a row, doesn't matter. I always want to be able to do, a significant amount of push-ups. For me, if I'm doing less than 30, I feel like I've missed or lost a step, at least on that first set. Usually by the second and third set, you're just like, cool. So, 15's not bad. So yeah, I like that kind of stuff sometimes. So I guess the lesson of this week is supersets / giant sets are definitely your friend when you're not feeling well. And just, take the opportunity to work on some conditioning maybe instead of worrying too much about the heavy weights. And that was a lesson for this week. And I'm certainly glad that I didn't 100%, finalize my programming, because I definitely want to add some more of that sort of supersets that I like into my program, just as, call them like emergencies, like if I come in and I get through all my warm-ups and maybe I hit one set with the weight I'm supposed to be hitting and it's just not working. All right, cool. We call it, let's do an emergency workout, let's do an emergency press workout, so at least we're getting some work done that day. And other than that, I'm also making sure to add a bunch of rehab for this, this right arm with the bicep and the brachial, whatever, the one of the grippy muscles, that tendon that runs down into the forearm from the bicep. That thing is still giving me a bit of pain in certain positions. I mean, it used to hurt all the time. Now it just hurts when I get into certain positions, and it doesn't get bad. It might flare up to like a 6, maybe a 7. 7 is usually, for me, I call a 7 pain that makes me go, or gasp or yipe or something, and it flares up to about a 7 sometimes. 8 is when it brings me to my knees, and I've only experienced that like 2 or 3 times in my life. 9 means I'm to my knees and I'm screaming, and 10 is my body's just shutting down because I can't handle the pain. Never had a 10, I don't think. No, I've never had a 10. 9. No, I don't remember a 9. Oh, yep, nope, I have had a 9. 8s here and there, and then 7s, that's kind of just above casual pain, but working on that. Great news is, though, that left hand of mine is feeling a lot better. Ironically, I think it was because I started doing more grip work, And I remember I was doing we have like a fake Rolling Thunder at the gym, the one that's made by Titan, which is actually way harder and worse than an actual Rolling Thunder. And I remember I hit a rep on that one time with the left hand. And when I went to pull it, I felt this big shock from basically the tip of my middle finger all the way up to like my shoulder. Felt like I got almost tased. Don't ask me how I know what that feels like. And honestly, ever since then, my left palm has been feeling a lot better. So maybe I like pulled something back into position where it was supposed to be. I don't know, but don't take that advice. Take the advice of plan some quick little superset workouts where you feel like you got some good work done, and just take the opportunity to work on conditioning if it's just not a heavy day. If you don't, then what's your excuse?